Gears now.
Google is taking on Apple in the wireless world.
The search giant reportedly working on its own cell phone. The device would allow you to access all of Google's popular services, including Maps and YouTube, while you're on the go. But is the cutting-edge company a little bit too late to the party? That's the question for our panel. Pat Powell, what do you think?
I think absolutely not. You know, and if you want to think about, do you use beta or do you use VHS? You don't have to be first, and you don't have to be the earliest to come out with something that everybody's going to use.
But beta died.
That's my point. Is we all use VHS. We don't use the first one, which was beta.
Betamax, yeah,
Absolutely,
Betamax.
that's my point.
But Charles, the iPhone is just fresh out, and so it makes you wonder. You know, Google has to really come out and be something special too to get this kind of attention that the iPhone did.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's good that Apple's done so well because it just sort of enhances what Google wants to do and sort of validates what they're trying to do. They also want to buy spectrum. They want their own band in the airwaves because they want to take this to a level that we haven't even seen. I mean, the Apple iPhone is cute. My wife has one, and you can do a lot of things with it, but to have all the things at Google at your fingertips really would be phenomenal. And this is just to let you know how early it is as far as advertising on this space. It's only a $33 million business right now. It's going to be $12 billion in a few years.
But Gary, you know, there's something about wives and iPhones. My wife has an iPhone as well. But with the iPhone, you can get into all those things that Google is going to let you get into. I mean, it might take maybe one click extra, but you could probably find a way of getting around that.
You can get Google Maps right now on a RIM BlackBerry.
So what's the big deal?
You know, I just think there's something in the world called brand name recognition, and Google has brand name recognition, and I think whatever they come out with, as long as it works, it is going to sell. I don't think they're late in the, of course, they should have come out first, but I don't think overall they're late in the game, and I have the sneaking suspicion they're going to sell a heck of a lot of these things.
But Peter, Google is a search engine. They don't make electronic pieces and property and stuff like Apple does. Would they then license that out to an electronics company?
I don't know. There's a lot of innovation in this industry. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of new products coming out over the years, so I'm sure they're not too late. Who knows how they're going to do. As an investor, though, I certainly, I think both Google and Apple's shares are overpriced. I wouldn't be buying shares of Google because you think they're going to get into...
But would you be buying for the company that Google would license out the phone to, say, make us this phone? And Google is a search engine.
I don't know who that company is, Liz. I don't know if it's a good value. I'd have to look at it. I mean,
right.
We've made a lot of money. I own some of these companies in Hong Kong and Singapore that are big in the cell phones. They're supplying a lot of these companies. There's a lot of money to be made there. I just don't like buying expensive stocks.
Right now, the betting is that LG might do it, that they're talking to LG. They're talking to different people in Asia, but LG seems to be at the top of the list now to actually make the phone.
Back to your analogy, you were talking about beta and VHS. Of course, beta died.
Right.
But Apple and PCs have coexisted for quite some time now, going on 3 decades. Is it possible that you could have iPhone be successful and Google's phone be successful?
Absolutely, and there's a lot of room here, as Charles was saying, for advertising, because a lot of this, the technology hasn't really figured out how to fully pay for itself. We're in a highly restrictive and regulated industry when you talk about phones right now. Google could open up the whole platform for everyone. I think the real winner here is not necessarily Google or Apple or LG. The real winner may be the consumer.
I don't know. You wonder, Gary, if you look at Nokia, which was just a huge leader in the 90s, and then here comes Motorola, comes out with that Razr phone. And then you look at other competitors coming out with the chocolate, etc. And it makes you wonder, it's not first in wins. It's who has the most innovative thing.
One thing I think is going to happen,
Hold on, Gary, go, Gary.
Look, it is a tough business. If you are not on your game, you're dead. Look what's happened to Motorola stock in the last year while Nokia has been soaring. It is about innovation. It is about the best product and the most accepted product by the public, so you best be on your game. Apple iPhone, I don't think it's the greatest in the world, but it has the Apple name, and it's good enough, and that's why it's selling so well. But notice, they had a lower prices also, $200. That higher price just wasn't going to play out over time.
Peter, you probably have nothing to say, but go ahead.
Well, the one thing I think everybody is underestimating is I think you're going to see a softening in demand domestically for these cell phones, particularly high-end cell phones. Over the next couple of years, Americans are going to be cutting back on their cell phone usage. They're going to be struggling with adjustable rate mortgage payments, higher food costs, higher energy costs, you name it.
I'm shaking my head. You know what I'm remembering, Peter, what I'm remembering is not only the high inflation inflation in the 70s, but I remember interest rates closing in on close to 20%. Remember that?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be here again. You're not going to have to remember way back to the 70s.
I'm moving to Switzerland.
And you can be able to check that out on your phone, on your Google phone, as you check it for your best
Pat,
CD
great
rate out
way to
there.
end. Pat
people are going to
Powell,
need cell
thank you
phones.
very much. Okay, gang.